What's up, everybody on audio? Welcome to this week's episode of Benny in the Booth podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening in. I really do appreciate it. This week, I'm oddly enough just recording it live on audio, or not live, but on audio first, because for some reason my mic will not work on YouTube at all. I do not know what is going on with YouTube streaming right now. Something's up, and I just don't have any explanation for it. So I'm just going to have to upload this. I'm going to have to put on audio first and then download the audio, this version, and put it on YouTube. It's just going to be the best I've got. But we've got MLB Weekly. We've got World Series games 1, 2, and 3 recap with Week 4. I said Week 4. Game 4 preview. That is tonight in less than an hour. That could be the end of the season this season for baseball. We've got college football week to go over. We've got NFL week to go over, and a huge college football game happening this weekend down in Happy Valley. And it is going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. Let's dive into it, though. World Series, Dodgers and Yankees for the 12th time in World Series history. And sadly, it's been all single-handedly Dodgers. They won Game 1, 6-3 in 10 innings. They won Game 2, 4-2, and Game 3, 4-2. And they enter tonight up 3-0, looking to put it away. It's Ben Kasparius against Luis Gil. It's going to start at 8:08 on Fox. Lineups for the teams, I'll go do this, and then I'll go over the notes. Dodgers lineup: Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, DH, right field, first base, Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy, Enrique Hernandez, left field, third base, center field, Gavin Lux, Will Smith, Tommy Edman, second base, catcher, shortstop. And then for the Yankees, Gleyber Torres, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, second base, right field, center field, Jazz Chisholm, Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo, third base, DH, first base, Anthony Volpe, Austin Wells, and Alex Verdugo, shortstop, catcher, and left field. The lineups for tonight's game, which might be the last game of the baseball season, which is crazy to be saying, but that's really the truth about it. And I'm going to dive into the big fact. Once I go over the notes, I'm going to dive into big factors of what has gone wrong and right on both sides to why it's 3-0 right now. And if anyone's wondering, no team's ever come back from down 0-3 in the World Series. And only in baseball history, the only team to ever come back from down 0-3 was the 2004 Red Sox against the Yankees, and that was in the ALCS that led to the World Series, which led to the Red Sox breaking the 86-year drought, oddly enough, 20 years ago. Probably not to the exact date, but 20 years ago. Red Sox did that to the Yankees in 2004. But realistically, I don't think it's gonna. As much as I did pick the Yankees originally, which I don't know if I even said that on the podcast, my original prediction was Yankees. I think this is over. And I hate to say it, but it's over. Well, let's just go over the notes. So, Dodgers won Game 1, 6-3 in 10 innings. Juan Soto's first inning walk makes him fifth player with a walk on his birthday in multiple postseason games, joining Starling Marte, Mookie Betts, Ruben Sierra, and Gene Tennis. Freddie Freeman's triple in the first makes him the first player with a stolen base and a triple in a single postseason at the age of 35 or older since Mark Ellis in 2013. Also for the Dodgers, they didn't even make the World Series that year. They lost in the NLCS. In the NLCS to the St. Louis Cardinals. This game being scoreless through 4 innings is the 7th World Series game scoreless through 4 innings since 2013. Enrique Hernandez triple in the 5th makes him the first Dodgers the first team with 2 triples in a World Series game since the Yankees in 2000 Game 4. Giancarlo Stanton's go-ahead 2-run homer in 6th makes him first player in postseason history with multiple streaks of 4 homers in 4+ straight games. Also makes him third player with 6+ homers in in multiple postseasons, joining Corey Seager and Nelson Cruz. Juan Soto's single in the 6th makes him the first player with a birthday hit in World Series since 2014 Game 3, Eric Hosmer. He's the second player with a hit and a walk in a World Series birthday game, joining 1982 Game 7 Keith Hernandez of the St. Louis Cardinals. Dodgers, the second team to triple for their first 2 hits of the World Series, joining 1953 Yankees Hank Bauer and Billy Martin. Stanton's homer also marks 5 straight. Sorry about that. 5 straight hits for a homer in the postseason, which is tied for most consecutive hits for a homer in a single postseason, tied with 2020 himself and 1971 Bob Robertson. Jazz Chisholm's 2 stolen bases in the 10th inning, stealing second and third, makes him second player with multiple stolen bases in the World Series extra inning, joining 1907 Game 1 Jimmy Slagle. Bottom also, but he did also in the 10th, but bottom of the 10th. His third stolen base ties World Series. His 3 stolen bases in general in this game ties World Series record for most of the game with 2016 Game 5 Rajai Davis, 2008 Game 3 B.J. Upton, 1968 Game 3 and 1967 Game 7 Lou Brock, 1965 Game 5 Willie Davis, and 1909 Game 3 Honus Wagner. Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam homer in the 10th inning off Hector Harris is the third walk-off homer while trailing in World Series history, joining 1993 World Series Game 6 Joe Carter and 1988 World Series Game versus he was with Toronto facing the Phillies, and 1988 World Series Game 1 Kirk Gibson, also with the Dodgers, facing Oakland. Is also the first walk-off Grand Slam in World Series history and the 5th Grand Slam this postseason, which is tied for most Grand Slams in a single postseason, tied with 2021 and 1998. Freeman and Gibson homers were both Game 1 of the World Series, trailing in Dodger Stadium. Both injured, 2 outs in the inning, and into the right field pavilion in Dodger Stadium. So just kind of fitting how those connections are applied to it. The Grand Slam was also the 62nd in the wild card era and postseason. 9 of those to follow an intentional walk. Mookie was intentionally walked before Freeman, joining 2024 NLCS Game 2 Vientos, 2019 NLDS Game 5 Howie Kendrick, 2016 NLCS Game 1 Miguel Montero, 2011 Game 3 2011 NLDS Game 3 Paul Goldschmidt, 1999 ALCS Game 4 Ricky Leday, 1999 ALDS Game 5 Troy O'Leary, 1998 NLDS Game 3 Eddie Perez, and 1996 NLCS Game 2 Gary Gaetti. Dodgers are the 4th team to rally back to tie or take the lead multiple times in the 8th inning or later in World Series, joining 2011 Game 6 Cardinals, 1986 Game 6 Mets, and 1912 Game 2 Boston Red Sox. Game ended in a tie for that 1912 game. The Freddie Freeman Grand Slam homer makes him the 3rd player with a Grand Slam and triple in a postseason game, during 2007 LDS Game 2 Kaz Matsui and 1920 World Series Game 5 Elmer Smith. Dodgers are the 14th team with multiple Grand Slams in a single postseason, behind 2021 Red Sox and 1998 Braves 3. Tonight started at 5:11 local time. Finished and was lasted 3 hours 27 minutes, ending at 8:38 local time. While 1988 World Series Game 1, which was the Kirk Gibson walk-off hobbled, started at 5:35 p.m. local time, lasted 3 hours and 4 minutes, and ended at 8:39 p.m. local time. There have been 12 game-tying or go-ahead home runs in the 8th inning or later this postseason, 2 more than any other single postseason. Those are the notes for Game 1. The Game 2 notes, Dodgers won 4-2. Tommy Edmonds solo home run in the second makes him the 7th Dodger center fielder with a World Series homer, joining Duke Nyers, 11, Pete Reiser, Chris Taylor, Jim Wynn, Cody Bellinger, and Hy Myers, literally Himeyers. Actual player, I looked it up. I just lost it. Juan game-tying solo home run in the 3rd makes him the youngest player to homer in a World Series for a second homer for a second team. Teoscar Hernandez 0 homer and Freddie Freeman's solo home run was back-to-back, making second back-to-back homers in Dodgers World Series history, joining 1981 Game 5 Pedro Guerrero, Steve Yeager, which turned the 81 World Series in favor of the Dodgers. A homer for Freeman marks 4th consecutive game with a homer for Freddie, which is tied for second most consecutive World Series games with a homer behind 2017 to 2019 George Springer 5, and tied with 1977 to 78 Mr. October Reggie Jackson and 1928-32 Lou Gehrig. Freddie Freeman is also the second player to homer in consecutive World Series games for multiple teams, joining Mr. Reggie Jackson. Freeman is also the sixth player with multiple World Series home runs for multiple teams, joining Corey Seager with Dodgers and Rangers, Steve Henderson, Red Sox and A's, Lenny Dykstra, Phillies and Mets, Reggie Jackson, A's and Yankees, and Reggie Smith, Red Sox and Dodgers. Yoshinobu Yamamoto's 6+ innings start makes him the 11th start of 6+ innings, 1 or 0 hits in World Series history, second by a Dodger, joining 2018 Game 4 Rich Hill. Freddie Freeman is also the 111th player to homer in the first 2 World Series games, joining 11th. Sorry, not 111th. 11th. 2013 David Ortiz, Red Sox, 2006 Carter Monroe Tigers, 2002 Reggie Sanders and Barry Bonds Giants, 1982 Ted Simmons Brewers, 1970 Boot Powell Orioles, 1958 Hank Bauer Yankees, 1954 Dusty Rhodes Giants, 1930 Mickey Cochrane Philadelphia Athletics / Oakland Athletics, and 1929 Jimmy Fox, also of at the time Philadelphia, now Oakland. Tommy Edman is the second player to hit in postseason history to homer as both shortstop and center fielder, joining teammate Chris Taylor to do so. Juan Soto and Teo both homering in this game marks the third World Series games where 2 Dominican-born players homer in the same World Series game, during 2011 Game 6 Nelson Cruz, Adrian Beltre, both of Texas, and 2011 World Series and 2011 Game 3 Nelson Cruz for the Rangers, Albert Pujols for the Cardinals. That was the game where Albert Pujols went yard 3 times. Alex Vezia's one pitch and fly out to center field on Jose Trevino makes him the second pitcher to record a 1-out save in postseason since 1988, joining 2004 NLCS Game 1 Jason Isringhausen. For Game 3, the Dodgers won 4-2. Freddie Freeman's 2-run homer in the first makes him the third player to homer in the first 3 games of the same World Series, joining 2002 Barry Bonds and 1958 Hank Bauer. Also marks 5 straight games of the World Series games with a homer, which is tied for most consecutive World Series games with the homer, tied with 2017. Hold on. 2017-2019 George Springer, and jumping Mr. 1977 to 78 Reggie Jackson, and 1928 to 32 Lou Gehrig 4. Also, his homers in 3 straight games is tied for longest streak in the Dodgers postseason history with 1958 Bill Madlock. Also, is Freddie Freeman's 5th homer in the first 9 career World Series games, which is tied for second most homers in first 9 career World Series games, tied with Chase Utley and behind George Springer's 6. Walker Buehler, 5 scoreless innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, is the 13th scoreless World Series start in Dodgers postseason Dodgers history, joining Sandy Koufax as the only Dodger with multiple scoreless World Series starts. Buehler lasted in 2020 World Series Game 3 and 2018 World Series Game 3, 7 scoreless in 2018, 6 scoreless in 2020. He's also the 4th pitcher with multiple scoreless World Series outings of 5+ innings and 2 or less hits allowed, joining Madison Bumgarner, Warren Spahn, and George Earnshaw. He, along with 6 scoreless in 2020 World Series Game 3, is also the only pitcher with 3+ World Series outings of 5+ innings and 4 hits or 4 or less base runners allowed. And then note from yesterday in general, New York City is the first metro area to lose MLB game Yankees, MLS game soccer New York City team, NBA New York Knicks, and NFL New York Giants on the same exact day, regular season or postseason. And one other fact, first time NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, and World Series in the same year, aka 2024, have all seen series go to 3-0. NBA Celtics were up 3-0, Mavs won Game 4, but the Celtics won 5. And Stanley Cup, the Panthers were up 3-0, lost the next 3, but won the Cup in Game 7. And that's the update on the World Series, which I'm going to tell you this World Series is over. The problem is that Judge just hasn't done anything. Stanton had a bit of momentum at one point, but kind of just lost it. And their lineup is just not doing much. Also, the umpires are not helping at all with terrible calls both ways. But it's just in that Nestor Cortez decision, they pitched him in the bottom of the 10th to Freddie, Ohtani, and Betts, and it backfired clearly. But they're just nothing's going their way, and as much as like they're getting a bit of momentum here and there, it's just not enough. And this World Series is gonna end tonight. That's my call. I don't think it's gonna last more than tonight. I'd be surprised if next episode is talking about more than one World Series game. I'll be honest, flat out. But we'll see what happens. That's update with MLB World Series going into tonight's game. That starts at 8:08 p.m. Eastern on Fox. College Football Week 9 recap. Pitt beat Syracuse 41-13. Number 19 Pitt. In the last 5 years, only twice has an FBS team returned 2 interceptions for a touchdown in the first quarter of a game. Both were by Pitt, but with the last one being 2022 at Virginia was the last time. Also, his only team in the last 25 years to return 3 interceptions for a touchdown in the entire first half of the game. Number 14, Texas A&M beat number 8 LSU 38-23. Number 24, Navy lost to number 12 Notre Dame 51-14. Number 15, Alabama shutout number 21 at Missouri. Mizzou 34-0, and number 22 SMU beat Duke 28-27, despite having a turnover differential of -6 in the game prior to SMU's win. FBS teams were 1-124, a .008 win percentage this century when losing to the turnover battle by 6 or more, with Marshall beating Memphis on November 17th, 2011. One moment. Sorry. Since Colorado beat Cincinnati 34-23, making them bowl eligible for the first time since 2016. That's it for the Week 9 recap. Week 10 preview. It's Ohio State, Penn State week at Penn State, 12 p.m. on Fox. Number 3, Penn State. Number 4, Ohio State. Ohio State coming off a struggle win against Nebraska. It's always going to be interesting when this rivalry happens. Number 1, Oregon is visiting Michigan, 3:30 on CBS/Paramount Plus. Michigan isn't ranked, but this could be a very interesting telling story game for this season for both teams. Oregon definitely wants to win this game. Michigan will love an upset. I don't even know which way I would want to root, but we'll see what happens. And then number 20, SMU hosting number 19 Pitt, 8 p.m. on ACC Network. That's it for the college football recap. NFL Week 8 recap. The Browns beat the Ravens 29-24, and all I have to say really, besides for a historic note I found on this game, Ravens, what happened? They were just dropping everything here and there. I should have probably posted an immediate reaction. I didn't. That's on me. But this was just hilarious. This is just hilarious to watch. This should have been a blowout in the Ravens' way. And the fact that they didn't blow out the Browns means they have a lot of things to be concerned about. Kyle Hamilton was dropping interceptions. A whole bunch of other people were dropping interceptions. Their receivers were dropping passes, whether some or not. I mean, what happened in Baltimore? I'm not even talking about the Tucker miss because he's honestly been on and off on those long kicks the last year or two. But what happened, Ravens? This was a game you should be squashing. And I'm saying that as a Browns fan. And yet you lost. Like, you got to start searching for answers quickly. Because you play Denver, because you ain't gonna you have to still face Cleveland again. Let's see, when is that game? But it's just like, I'm still stunned that the Browns even won that game, honestly. Jameis Winston shined. But also, what happened makes me, start to wonder, did the Browns intentionally play bad for Watson to try to get Watson out of there? Because, they were way worse under Watson than they were on Sunday with Jameis Winston. And, by a mile. And I don't want to think this, but it's the only thing that's come up to my head to explain the difference. And the next time we play the Ravens, FYI, is Week 18 in Baltimore. Either way, Bills beat the Seahawks 31-10. Joby's interception off Josh Allen in the first quarter is the first INT in the last 301 pass attempts for Josh Allen, snapping a longest streak in Bills history. And the 49ers beat the Cowboys 30-24. There have been 26,276 quarters of football played since 2000 regular season and playoffs. In only one of those quarters did QB throw for 100 plus yards on 100% completions, while also rushing for 30 plus yards. Brock Purdy is at one QB from this game in the third quarter. And that is the Week 8 recap. Week 8 predictions. I did pretty good. I went 12-4. I'm overall 80-43. Standings update. In the AFC East, the Bills in first place at 6-2, followed by the 2-5 Dolphins, followed by the 2-6 Patriots, followed by the 2-6 Jets. In the AFC North, the Steelers are first place at 6-2, followed by the 5-3 Ravens, followed by the 3-5 Bengals, followed by the 2-6 Browns. In the AFC South, the Texans are first place at 6-2, followed by the 4-4 Texans Colts, followed by the 2-6 Jaguars, followed by the 1-6 Titans. In the AFC West, the Chiefs in first place at 7-0, followed by the 5-3 Broncos, followed by the 4-3 Chargers, followed by the 2-6 Raiders. In the NFC North, or East, not North. I don't know why I put North there. That's a mistake. Commanders in first place at 6-2, followed by the 5-2 Eagles, followed by the 3-4 Cowboys, followed by the 2-6 Giants. In the NFC North, the Lions in first place at 6-1, followed by the 6-2 Packers, followed by the 5-2 Vikings, followed by the 4-3 Bears. In the NFC South, the Falcons in first place at 5-3, followed by the 4-4 Buccaneers, followed by the hold on. Sorry, I had to pause for something for a moment. I left off. I was going through standings, so just gonna finish with the standings. So the NFC North, the Lions in first place at 6-1, followed by the 6-2 Packers, followed by the 5-2 Vikings, followed by the 4-3 Bears. In the NFC South, the Falcons in first place at 5. I think I already went through this too. Now I'm realizing. I'll just rerun it at this point. Falcons at 5-3, followed by the 4-4 Buccaneers, followed by the 2-6 Saints, followed by the 1-7 Panthers. And then the NFC West, the Cardinals in first place are tying first place at 4-4 with the 49ers and Seahawks, followed by the Rams at 3-4. Sorry about that. Take 3. I'm basically cousin my got engaged, so I'm like trying to have someone FaceTime me and to say Mazel Tov. But either way, I'm just gonna close out with Week 9 predictions. Thursday night football this week. Texans at Jets, 8:15. I have the Texans. Sunday games: Cowboys at Falcons, 1 p.m. on Fox. I have the Cowboys. Dolphins at Bills, 1 p.m. on CBS. I have the Bills. Raiders at Bengals, 1 p.m. on Fox. I have the Bengals. Chargers at Browns, 1 p.m. on CBS. I have the Browns. Patriots at Titans, 1 p.m. on Fox. I have the Titans. Commanders at Giants, 1 p.m. on Fox. I have the Commanders. Saints at Panthers at 1 p.m. on CBS. I have the Saints. Broncos at Ravens, 1 p.m. on CBS. I have the Ravens. Bears at Cardinals, 4:05 on CBS. I have the Bears. Jaguars at Eagles, 4:05 on CBS. I have the Eagles. Lions at Packers, 4:25 on Fox. I have the Lions. Rams at Seahawks, 4:25 on Fox. I have the Seahawks. Sunday night football, Colts at Vikings at 8:20. I have the Vikings. And Monday night football, Buccaneers at Chiefs at 8:15. I have the Chiefs. That's it for this week's episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you're new on YouTube, leave a like, hit subscribe, and leave a notification once to notify when I go live. You never post a new video. If you're new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, hit notification once to notify when I post on there. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I'll see you next week's episode 146. Bye-bye.